We are starting our day in Wolfach in the middle of the Black Forest. We stayed here last night and it's a great location because it's right central in the Black Forest. We're going to head further south on the B500. We're going to stop at Lake Titisee for a coffee or something and then carry on all the way down to the border of Switzerland before we get back to Basel. So, bike's all packed up and we're ready to go. Actually quite a cute little town this, isn't it?
It's really sweet, yeah.
I think they always have these flags out too. I've never been here before.
No, I've never been here either. I think it might get a little colder as we get further into the Black Forest because the altitude gains quite quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're probably right there. It's 20 degrees at the moment and it's another dry day. This guy going to pull out, I think. Nice sporadic driving.
Yeah, it's another dry day, which is good. Quite lucky with the weather, really.
Absolutely.
The reason I think that the B500 and this Black Forest region is one of the best regions in the world for riding a motorcycle is because it ticks every biker's checklist of things that they want from an area. The road conditions are fantastic. The views and the vistas and the forest are just stunning. And then you also have so much culture in this region and there's so much to do when you want a few days off the bike. You can go around to one village where you can do cuckoo clock making, then the next village you can see a brewery, and then you've got all these really unique guest houses that you can stay in. Also, if you want to have a spa day, there's so much to do in this area and you can do it all on your bike, going through all these incredible roads and little alpine passes, and it's just so easy to be here. It's just such a nice region to come and explore.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. There's a reason why all the bikers flood here, and there's so many routes and roads you can take. You can ride a new road each day if you want to. It's really like a maze of roads, and the beer is fantastic as well.
That's always an added plus. And for me as a pillion, it's nice to be able to experience the other side of it, you know, like the cultural side of being in Germany, and when you get off the bike you're not having to like drive into a capital city to be able to experience that. There's so many little villages that you can have that in when you pull over and stop. I really think it should be on everybody's top of the list for a bike destination, as well as if you want to ride it or drive it as well in your car. It's totally worth it. And we've been here in the winter as well, and that's also something very special. And as we were just saying, here's a place that's got the House of Cuckoo Clocks. You can stop, pull in, maybe get a souvenir. Can we pull in and get a souvenir, Sean?
No, we're not having a cuckoo clock.
Just riding through another small town here. It's early Saturday morning and you can see the place is just starting to wake up, but it's not too busy yet. But these roads through the Black Forest can get very hectic with tourists and as well as just like the locals going about their daily business. So rush hour still is a thing through the Black Forest. So keep an eye out for that when you're picking your times to do your roads. I think probably the best is maybe at dinner time if you want the roads to yourself, sunset even. Yeah. That's probably when you're going to get the best views as well.
Yeah, last night we had a lovely ride down, didn't we? Was it about 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening?
Yeah,
roads were empty. It was really nice conditions as well.
We might have a slight issue here.
It appears they have removed the road. We'll have to go around.
There's been so many the past 3 days we've been in Germany of diversions or roadblocks.
So that road closure on the B500 has caused us quite a detour actually. Yeah, we did quite an hour detour I think.
Yeah, and it was freezing.
Yeah, it's got pretty cold out there. But we are here at Lake Titisee. We've just stopped at this cafe to warm up.
Yeah, we grabbed the local apple cake from the region, 2 coffees and a pretzel just to have a few moments to warm up and figure out what we're going to do next.
Yeah, usually we had planned to ride up to Feldberg from here, which is another great little pass and a nice little mountain top to go to, but it looks like there's a road closure there too. And Not even sure if they had some freak snow recently, so that could be why it's closed.
It's unseasonably cold right now. We are nearly in June and we're both in 3 or 4 layers because it is so cold out there.
Yeah, usually it's a lot warmer than this and everything is open by now.
But hopefully when you come it'll be a lot easier. So Lake Titisee, where we're at now, we'll show you the little town in a minute. It's a really pretty place to come and visit, and normally that road is great.
It is, yeah. So I think the plan C will be to head to Todmose and then we can drop down into Bargles there, but I think we're only like an hour and a half away from home here.
So we are just riding through Titisee and the little town. I'm just going to flip the camera so you guys can see. Just down there is the lake. Oh, we're going?
Yeah, we're going. I think we can go this way for a bit.
Okay. And this is the small village. There's loads of places you can try. Black Forest Gatto, and you can take even a boat out, but we're going to do a full video on this area for you guys because there's a lot to see and a lot to try. But for today, because the weather's so cold and it's also really busy here in Titisee, we're going to get back on the road and head in the direction of Todmose. So here is Lake Titisee. There's a lot of places you can camp, I think, along here as well. And the boats, the pedal boats you can take out are a really reasonable price, aren't they, Sean?
Yeah, we did that last year. I think it was €10 for like an hour and a half.
But there's also a really cool brewery in this region as well, where you can go and do a museum tour and try a few of the local beers. And they even have a couple of good alcohol-free ones as well. So we have had the K1600 now for 3 days, is it? 3 full days we've been riding?
3 full days, yeah.
And I gotta say, I haven't fallen in love with it. I don't want to change the GS, but I have been so impressed with how smooth it is. There's no other bike that I've sat on the back of, and you've gone 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, and I haven't even shifted off the back.
It is a super smooth bike, yeah. The engine, the power delivery is beautiful. And it is effortless. It's so forgiving. It's like you're never in the wrong gear because it just pulls in every gear. You can ride it really lazy if you want to. You can just sit back and relax. Or if you want to ride it a little bit more sporty, just knock it down a couple of gears and then listen to it roar. Like, as I say, it's like an aircraft taking off on the runway. It makes a tremendous noise. So yeah, it's confirmed the road to Feldberg, the Feldbergstrasse, is closed. They put big crosses on everything whenever they close anything here. So as an alternative, we're gonna head to direction of the Schlucksee, which is another small lake, and then we'll head to Todmose from there, and then we'll drop back home. We're not so far away from home. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. There's going to be a lot of disappointed bikers this weekend. Absolutely. Some of the Black Forest hotspots have been closed. Hopefully there'll be some nice new tarmac in there in the next month or so. But don't worry if you're planning to come in the next few weeks, because there's plenty of alternatives around here. As we mentioned before, this alternative route is taking us past the Schlucksee, which is also a really nice little lake as well. We haven't spent any time on this lake ourselves, but I think you can also do little boat tours here as well. Yeah, you can hike around this one. It's a little bit smaller than Titisee. Yeah, but the road surrounding it is really good. And as Em said, there's a great brewery nearby. I think it's, what's it called, the Rothaus beer, I think it is, which is a lovely Black Forest beer. They do a good range, and you can do a little tour of the brewery as well, which is a nice highlight to do. There's a nice section just coming up of 2 or 3 really nice uphill switchbacks that we're about to get to. Gonna see how the K1600 takes these, as we've done this road quite a lot on the GS. Yeah, it is effortless on the GS. It feels a lot lower down, this bike. It does. I definitely feel from the pillion side I'm not being kind of thrown over as much. I'm gliding. We've got 2 bikes in front of us as well. It's nice and smooth, isn't it? It is a smooth bike, yeah. This road is amazing.
Although the Black Forest is very famous for its awesome twists and turns, what it's not so famous for is this little gorge here, which we're going to ride now. It's a really cool little gorge with a stream running either side, and I'm going to head to the direction of Basel from here. So we're going to head out that way, and we're very close to home now. So let's get back on the K1600 and finish off the rest of this trip. Sounds good.
rock side to side. So cool.
We've just finished our tour of southern Germany and it's been an absolute blast. But before we give the K1600 back, I'd just like to tell you a few things that I really liked about this bike. Firstly, and I think everyone will fall in love with this, is this 1600cc engine producing 180 Newton meters of torque and 160 horsepower. It is absolutely a blast. It is such fun to ride this engine. When you're overtaken, you drop it down a few gears, it feels like an aircraft that's about to just take off on the runway. But if you keep it in the higher gears, 5th or even 6th gear, you can really just roll that throttle gently on and off and the bike will go. It doesn't matter if you come to a hill or if you need a gentle overtake, you can really just relax and keep it in those high gears. And for me, the engine sounds awesome. It really gives you a feel of like having a sports bike underneath there. Puts a smile on your face every time. And it's such a smooth engine, there's almost no vibration through the bike, so it makes for a really comfortable ride. Speaking of which, the seat was really comfortable. If you can see, the rider has good support behind them there. It's almost like I'm having a mini backrest. Holds you well into the seat. Ride height is 810 millimeters, 81 centimeters, which for me is really quite low, which makes for very easy maneuvering. When you're at a standstill, you need to move the bike around. It feels really light and had absolutely no problems moving the bike around at all. If you do, it does have a reverse gear, electric reverse gear, which can be a bit of a lifesaver sometimes if you're stuck on a hill or anything. You press the reverse, when it's in neutral, the engine needs to be on, and you operate it with this button here. It just gives you your reverse. All in all, a really comfortable bike. Panniers come as standard with the back. For the GT model, you don't get the top box or the support for the pillion, but Em's going to talk about that in a second. Programmable buttons here. I had number 1 program for the heated grips, 2 for the seat, 3 for the navigation, and I had 4 to return to the home screen. It's shaft driven as well, which makes for a really comfortable ride, and also no maintenance on the chain when you're out and about. All in all, a really fun bike to ride. It takes in the curves, can be ridden quite sportly as well. And on the motorway when you're cruising, you really blocks the wind out with that front screen, which is one last thing I want to show you on this bike. This is by no means an essential thing for a bike, but it was welcome anyway. It has an electric screen.
It's so cool.
All the way up, it really does block the wind, and if you're in more summer conditions, which we definitely weren't this last weekend, you can put it all the way down, and you can also open up these slipstream, well, I guess they're kind of like an opposite winglet, and that'll direct the air straight into you. So all in all, a really fun bike.
Yeah, we've had a great time in the past few days on it, haven't we? Nearly 1,500 kilometres we've done.
Yeah, we've done a fair few miles on it already.
But the pillion seat, or the pillion review that nobody actually asked for, is great. The seat is really thick and the heated seat works really well. It takes a while to kick in because it's so thick, but overall it was really comfortable for me. It has hand grips through the side, which are in the perfect position for you to kind of make a seat for yourself when you don't have the top box on. But I kind of see that the seat is kind of fitted for you to have that top box. So the GTL version, I'm guessing, is extremely comfortable. The side boxes do cut in a little bit, so you have to have a more further back foot position than maybe you are used to. So it kind of hits onto the back of the boot there. But overall, I was quite comfortable. And the thing that I loved the most about this bike was how smooth it was. We were doing 150 kilometers an hour and I had no backwards push on the acceleration, firmly planted, and I didn't need to hold on that much at all. So it's definitely a great bike, and if you added on the GTL package, I think it is going to be the perfect cruising tourer for a 2-up.
Yeah, so all in all, we had a really fun time on this bike.
Yeah,
however,
great.
We're looking forward to getting our R1250 GSA back, which we're going to pick up tomorrow. Shadow's coming back home.
So we'll see you guys in the next video, wherever we may be, and hopefully we'll be on the road with our R1250.
Yeah, see you again soon.